See the March 30th Indian Express newspaper. First article is first ray. Russia says will scale back near Kyiv. Ukraine floats near neutral status. Okay. Russia promised on Tuesday to scale down military operation around Ukraine's capital and north, while Kyiv proposed adopting neutral status, the first signs of progress towards negotiating peace. Istanbul Palace more than a month in the last attack. The talks took place in Istanbul Palace. Okay. Halted on most. Russia's invasion has been halted on most front by stiff resistance from Ukrainian force. Okay. Reduce the military activities in Kyiv and Chernihiv directions. Mykolaiv in south, some analysts noted that Russia's promise to reduce fighting mostly covered areas where it has been losing grounds. Ukrainian negotiators said that under their proposal, Kyiv would agree not to join alliance or host bases of foreign troops, but would have security guaranteed in terms similar to Article 5, the collective defense clause of the transatlantic NATO military alliance. They named Israel and NATO members Canada, Poland and Turkey as countries that may give such guarantees. Russia, the US, Britain, Germany, Italy could also involved. The proposal, which could require the referendum in Ukraine, mentioned 15-year consultation period on the status of Russian annexed Crimea. The fate of southeastern Donbas region, which Russia demands Ukraine cede to separatists, would be discussed by Ukrainian and Russian leaders. Kyiv proposal also included that one Moscow would not oppose Ukraine joining the European Union. Russia has previously opposed the Ukrainian membership of European Union, especially NATO. This is what the article is all about. Next article that we are moving into is related to can't take world peace for granted, Jay Shankar. BIMSTEC. A group of countries in BIMSTEC are Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan. Besides India and Sri Lanka, BIMSTEC, that is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multisectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation, comprises Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan. Next article is PM in Bengal addresses violent intimidation against democracy. Tuesday at the function that intimidation through the use of violence is a violation of democratic rights. It is our democratic right to take part in the political activities, but if someone's political activity are stopped through the intimidation and violence, then that is a violation of those rights. Matua community to raise their voice against violence. Okay. Next article that we are moving into is related to amendment and attempt to tinker with ICAI autonomy. To amend the Chartered Accountants Right Act that gives the government greater control over the disciplinary committee of Indian Chartered Accountant Institute. Okay. Next article that we are moving into is related to norms revised, physics, maths, a must to pursue engineering, tech UG courses. Admission to most engineering and technology undergraduate degree program will require students to have mandatorily pursue physics and mathematics at high school level, and All India Council for Technical Education announced on Tuesday in what is being particularly rollback of eligibility norms is it released last year. The previous norms had left the question of mandatory subject combination on the university's engineering institutes, making it technically possible for those who may not have studied physics and maths at a higher secondary level to pursue UG degree course in engineering and technology. To revise the entry norms in engineering courses last year, describing it as a step towards encouraging interdisciplinary. However, top scientific experts have reasoned against the move, terming it retrograde and a step in the wrong direction, an observation which forced a rethink. Next article that we are moving into is related to MNREGA wages revised less than 5% hike in 21 states. what the article says. Under the subsection of 1 of section 6 of Manrega 2005, Union government fixes state-wise wages rate for unskilled manual workers who works under the Rural Guarantee scheme. Manrega wages rates are fixed according to the changes in the Consumer Price Index Agricultural Labor CPI-AL, which reflects the increase in the inflation in rural areas. Ministry of Rural Development revises Manrega wages. Wage rate for financial year 2022-2023 for Manrega Act 2005 will be effective from April 1. Manrega wages reflects the changes in the Consumer Price Index Agricultural Labor, which reflects the increase in rural inflation. Key highlights are, in absolute terms, Manrega wages are increased by Rs 4 to 21 per house per hour across the 31 states and union territory in 2020-2023. There is no change in the wage rates for the 3 states like Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura. Manrega guarantees 100, which may be extended to 150 days in drought and natural calamity notified rural areas of wage employment in the financial year to a rural household whose adult members voluntarily to do unskilled manual work. Significance of Manrega: provide livelihood security for the poor through the creation of durable asset, improved water security, soil conservation and higher land productivity, positive impact on standard of living of household through increase in household income, powerful instrument of inclusive growth in rural India through its impact on social protection, livelihood security and democratic empowerment. Next article that we are moving into is related to Meghalaya, Assam take first step to resolve border rows. That is, last year both the state government identified 6 of the 12 areas under disputes. That is Hahim, Zizong, Tarabari, Boklapara, Kanapara, Pilingata and Ratakchira. Okay. During British rule, Assam included present-day Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, besides Mizoram, which later became separate states. Next article is Bharat Bandh. Despite court intervention, attendance low in Kerala government offices. The absence of employees participating in the strike could be treated as dies non. Okay. Next article that we are moving into is related to Atmanirbhar Internet. What is about the parallel between Russia's and India's attempts to shake free of US big tech hegemony are worrying. Information Technology Minister Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Honorable Minister, objected to the silencing of Russia's state media by big tech, bemoaning the weaponization of digital platforms. Apparently, he has no objection to weaponization taking place in the form of thermobaric rocket raining down on the innocent Ukrainians. Surely this is in most appropriate of times to point out to the economic and digital sanctions on Russia and use this global crisis to tout a pet project of Atmanirbhar or sovereign internet for India, as Chandrasekhar is doing. Putin has used this propaganda engine to create a fantasy about what is going on next door. The Kremlin-controlled media have orchestrated a narrative about genocide against the Russian-speaking population in Ukraine, and reports of Russian soldiers being welcomed as liberators by grateful Ukrainians. No image of ruin of Mariupol or millions of refugees are shared with Russian views. The terms such as war or invasion are criminalized. Independent media have been taken off the air along with Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. How far this minister proposes India out to go to stand for its sovereign internet? Will it be most just about establishing regulations governing data localization, building cyber security defenses along with the data protection and governance, or does he have plans to orchestrate a parallel internet along the lines of Russia, China, North Korea and now Russia and other digital outcasts, such as Swift service used to execute the international banking transaction? Russian authorities issued warning to Google and other major platforms to comply with so-called landing law. These employees would be subject to fine and arrest if they did not comply with the government's order to take down any content in the government deemed unworthy public consumption. India, of course, a similar mandate has put in place in February 2021, requiring the major platform to have several officials. Let us continue this in the next video. Thank you. If you like the video, please do share, comment, like and subscribe.